how can you know the will of the Lord? Just how can you discern what Jesus is asking us to do? Take today's gospel as an example. No one can be my disciple unless they first say they hate their parents, or their spouse, or their children. The other one we've heard before. No one can be my disciple unless they take up their cross and follow me. That we've heard before. But that first one, hey, yes, it's 7:30 in the morning and you're awake now. Jesus has our attention. What shall we do with that? I suppose you could sit back and say, well, that's one of those passages that's not meant to be read literally, but how would you read it? I mean, think about that idea, cost of discipleship. We've heard that before, but, well, it's that image. If you want to follow me, what will it take? Are you willing to undertake the cost? Are you willing to be committed? Listen to Jesus' examples today in the gospel. The person who's building a tower. Have you calculated the cost? Can you finish the job? You only have enough for the foundation? Imagine if you did that. You were building a home and you don't have enough to finish it. There's no roof on the house. There's no windows. There's no door. Your neighbors are kind of walking by and, look at that. It's going to be cold this winter. What are you going to do? Do you have enough to take it on? Do you have enough to see it through? That's kind of a small example. Bigger example, higher stakes. What do you have a king? Maybe a bellicose king. And the king does something to lead the nation into harm's way. Another king is coming with an army of 20,000. My king will stop them with 10,000. Or will he? Who is that wise and prudent king who might see the impending train wreck there and go and send emissaries to the other king to talk about peace? Or would that king prefer to bring the small army into battle, contact all those widows and families afterwards, maybe explain to the kingdom why we lost and why someone else is now your king? Are you committed? Are you ready to take it on? Have you thought it through, and are you willing to accept the price to do what it takes? When it comes to discipleship, there's disciples who are hot and passionate. There are others who are cold and they don't care and they walk away. But there are no lukewarm disciples. Either you're in or you're not. No lukewarm disciples. Have you calculated the cost? Are you willing to do what it takes? Jesus invites you to be a good disciple. And to be a good disciple, you need to say, I am committed. I am ready completely. I am all in. All in? All the time? Is that what you mean, Jesus? Like that 24/7 stuff? That can be a tall order. But yes, you can. You can. And you know people who remind you that you can do it. For example, I've got a friend who's a physician. In fact, he's a kidney specialist. He leads a kidney transplant team. He likes to joke to me, you want to be my friend, just don't know me professionally. Okay? Kidney transplant, 10 to 12 hours, straight through. All in. All the time. No breaks, no mistakes. I have another friend who's a pre-K teacher. 3- and 4-year-old kids. She can't say, oh, okay, for the next hour, go work on your math projects. Sure. For 3- and 4-year-olds? They command constant attention all the time. Very cute kids, but they require your attention all the time. I have a cousin who's a retired police officer in New England. She retired as the night watch commander for a city of 45,000 people when opioids came to town. They came up the road from the metropolitan area on the interstate. These three, committed, well prepared. They're ready. They said yes, and they meant it. Jesus wants you to say yes and to be committed. Be a hot disciple, not a lukewarm one. Be committed, be well prepared, be ready completely. Jesus wants to be at the top of your list. Remember that phrase from the gospel earlier today? Hate your family. I can't leave my wife, my parents, my children behind. What's he saying? You know, if you put the Lord first in your life, if your commitment to the Lord is rock solid and there all the time, if you make the Lord's way your way, you'll become a better person. You'll be an even better spouse, parent, child, best friend, neighbor. Put Jesus first and everything else falls into place with blessings in life. But you might be thinking, well, what's the downside of that? Well, suppose you don't put Jesus first. Suppose you put other people or things first. Well, if you're willing to compromise important relationships like your one with Jesus, you might have to ask yourself a hard question. These relationships with my spouse, with my parents, with my children, am I willing to compromise those too? I mean, what's my price? Am I really solid in my relationships with the people I say I love? It's like you have to sit back and take it all in. I like looking out on the back porch on the night sky. I see so much more of the night sky here in Coxsackie than I did when I was living in Albany. A lot less city lights. You can see the stars. And sometimes you look at like one or two stars and say, wow, that's something. When you take a step back and see them all, say, wow, now there's the whole story. When we say yes to Jesus, he takes us along. We get to see the whole story. We get to take it all in, like looking at the night sky. Step back, take it all in. Be committed. Take the Lord into your life.